Ladies and gentlemen, hello, this is Debo from Go, and I've got another killer deck tech here for you today. But before we get started, again, if you enjoy our content, we'd really appreciate a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe. It's a great way to support our channel for free. Now let's go ahead and break on down this deck tag. So this is a list I'm calling Banished Into Fable.Deck, and basically, the namesake card here, Banished Into Fable. We were given a deck building challenge from one of our viewers to play 4 of these in a deck, and it's actually kind of a cool card. And at first I had my misgivings about it. I wasn't sure about it, but the more I played it, the more it was actually pretty cool, especially in the shell. So let's go ahead and break it on down. Banished Into Fable is 4 white and blue. It's an instant speed spell, and it says whenever you cast this from your hand, copy it if you control an artifact, then copy it again if you control an enchantment. You may choose new targets for the copies. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. You create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So you could be bouncing something that you own, or you could be bouncing something that your opponent owns, but you also get a 2/2 white knight out of it, so you can get additional value as some of the stuff that you play, but mainly you're going to be tempoing out your opponent while also building a board presence. It's a very cool card, and I think you guys will like it when you try it out. Now let's go ahead and see what value we have with the rest of our deck here. So we have Stonecoil Serpent. We're playing 4 copies of it. Everyone knows the power level of this card. Pay X mana into it. You get X+1/+1 counters, protection from multicolored, reach, trample. This is basically going to be one of our win conditions. It's also just a good filler card as we play the rest of the deck, and it feeds into the Banished Into Fables. We have 3 Glass Caskets for some early removal. We can hit something that's 3 CMC or less, and it just helps stave off some of that early stuff. We have, again, the Birth of Meletis at 4 copies. This will give us a wall to be able to stave off some aggro. It gets its lands, so we can hit some of those more expensive spells, and it gains us a couple of life to stay in the game. Very good card. We have Omen of the Sea for 1 in a blue and instant speed, scry 2, draw a card, plus we can pay 2 in a blue into it to scry 2 again. Very good tempo card for us, and I think you guys will really like it in this list. We have 3 Midnight Clock. This is not a card that sees a whole lot of play outside of combo, but it feels really good in this list. It's 2 in a blue, it ramps us for a blue. We can also pay 2 in a blue into it to put an hour counter on it. Whenever the 12th hour counter is placed on it, we basically will shuffle our hand and graveyard into our library and then draw 7 cards, and we exile Midnight Clock. And this gets an hour counter on every upkeep, so your upkeep and your opponent's upkeep. So it's just an inevitable ticking time bomb before you're able to draw a bunch of cards. So very good spell for us here, and it's just a great way for like a mid to late game, refill our hand, and just keep going at it. We also are running 3 Chromatic Lantern. It fixes our mana colors, although we have pretty good mana in the list right now, but just make sure that we hit everything that we need to hit when we need to hit it. Very good cards. Also ramps us for 1, so I like it. And we have 3 Shatter the Sky to be able to deal with opponents' board states. So if they're going to be trying to aggroing us out or playing some big mid-range creatures, Shatter the Sky will be a good answer for us to be able to just wipe the board, wipe it clean, and stick around for the end game. We do have Alela, Artful, Provocateur. This is a great addition to this list because we're playing so many artifacts and enchantments. For 1 in Esper, we have a 2/3 flying Death Touch life linker. With other creatures with flying, get +1/+0, and whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, you create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So basically, when she's out, every time you cast an artifact or enchantment, you get a 2/1 flyer, right? So it's very good. A lot of good board presence with it. She can win us the game. It also draws a lot of just removal from our opponents, but it can flood the board. It can do a lot of really cool things. I really like this card a lot. We're also playing 2 Solemn Simulacrum, if I can say that name. Sad Robot. We're playing 2 Sad Robots for 4 mana, 2/2. When it enters battlefield, get a land, put it in the battlefield. When it dies, you draw a card. Just good tempo play. It works with a lot of the other things that we're playing, so we're running a couple copies of it. And then here's our main win condition, is 2 copies of Shark Typhoon. 5 in a blue, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an X blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. You can also cycle this. Most of the time, you're not going to be cycling it in this deck. This is your win con. You want to get this down because everything else pretty much is going to trigger it outside of the few creatures that we're running. So highly recommend that you actually play the card the way it is, and I think you guys will actually find that this will win games, especially when you pair it with Banished Into Fable and you're getting 6/6s out of it along with 2/2s. So really like it. It's a great win condition in the list. For our mana base, 5 plains, an island, a swamp, 4 Hallowed Fountains, a Temple of Enlightenment, 3 Godless Shrine, a Temple of Silence, 2 Temple of Deceit, 4 Watery Grave, 2 Fable Passage. Pretty good for something like what we're playing here. For our sideboard, we have 3 Agonizing Remorse. It's just a great way to deal with Uros, a great way to deal with other problematic cards, or if our opponent is playing some sort of control list, we can get this out early, maybe hit a counter spell or something like that. Very good for us. We're also playing 2 Banishing Light, great way to deal with planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, or just creatures if we need to. And it also triggers a lot of things that we want to be triggering and works with a lot of the cards we want to be working with, so it works really well for us. We're running 2 Mystical Disputes to help go up against some of the control decks that are out there, maybe some of the flash decks could help us out there. We have 2 Necro Mintia. For 1 black, we get to choose a card name other than a basic land and search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of those cards and name them and exile them. That player shuffles their library and then creates a 2/2 for each that was in their hand that was exiled this way. So very good for us. It's a great way to deal with very problematic combo pieces or something like that that we can't normally deal with. It also snags things from the graveyard. Definitely a good card for us to pull in there to be able to stop very specific threats. Against aggro, we have another Shatter the Sky. Very good for us. We're also running 2 Ashiok's Erasure. This actually triggers for a bunch of things. It works with our Alela. It works with our Banished Into Fables. Good card. It's basically a counter spell, but instead of countering, it actually exiles until Ashiok's Erasure goes away, and then that card goes back to the opponent's hand. So they have to actually recast it. So it's a very good card for us. We're also running a single copy of Elspeth Conquers Death for 3 white. It's a great way for us to be able to exile something that our opponent has. And we can also return back an Alela from the graveyard to the battlefield. So just a single copy. We don't have a whole lot of creatures we want to get back, but the one that we do want to get back, this will help us get there. So it's a good card for us. And we also are playing 2 Ugin the Ineffable. So again, this is another good thing to put in if we're going to be playing the Elspeth Conquers Death. We can get this back from the graveyard as well. 6 mana, 4 loyalty. Colorless spells cost 2 less to cast, but you can take up 1 to get a 2/2 Colorless Spirit, and then exile the top card of our library. When that spirit leaves, we can put the card back into our hand. We then -3 to destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. So it's good removal, it's good card draw, and good creature presence. So definitely like this card, and it works well with the other things we're trying to do in the deck. So that's what we're trying to do with this deck, Banished Into Fable.Deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, my name is Debo from Landsego.com, and be sure, again, to give us a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe if you liked the content, and we'll be talking to you again real soon. Hey guys, thanks for watching our content. If you liked our video, you'll probably like these as well. And if you would, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And in the description below, you'll find our TCG affiliate link, where you can buy the cards that you need while also supporting us, Landsego, and our show.